What if I told you that limitations could actually make you more creative? It sounds crazy, right? But the truth is, many of the most groundbreaking ideas in history came from working with fewer resources, not more. Did you know that Pixar, one of the most successful animation studios, almost didn't survive because of a budget crisis? Yet, that very limitation led to the creation of Toy Story, the world's first feature-length computer-animated film. And here's another shocker. A study from the University of Toronto found that people are more creative when they have fewer choices. This is the exact opposite of what most people believe. In this video, we'll explore how working within boundaries can actually unleash your best ideas. Stick with me, and I'll show you how to turn limitations into your secret weapon for boosting creativity. Chapter 1. The Secret Power of Constraints. Creativity unleashed. Creativity often thrives when it's forced to work within boundaries. Many people believe that creativity means having limitless freedom, but that's not always the case. According to the psychologist Dr. Barry Schwartz, too many choices can actually lead to decision paralysis. When you have too many options, your creativity can get lost in the noise. Limiting choices can spark more innovative ideas because it narrows your focus. For instance, author Ernest Hemingway wrote his most famous works using just a simple typewriter and limited resources. By forcing himself to focus, Hemingway's creativity soared. Similarly, in the world of design, Apple's limited product range often leads to some of the most iconic and simple products ever made. Chapter 2. Breaking free by being bound. Why less is more? It's easy to assume that more resources or more space means more freedom to create. However, research shows that when we have fewer options, our creativity gets more precise. A study from the University of Toronto found that having fewer choices allows people to focus more on their craft. Take music production, for example. When musicians limit themselves to just a few instruments or sounds, they often produce much more distinctive work. The famous electronic music duo Daft Punk created some of their most iconic tracks with just a few simple beats and sounds. The same can be said for minimalist art, where constraints allow an artist to express powerful messages using fewer elements. Chapter 3. The Box You Need. How boundaries spark big ideas. You may have heard the phrase, think outside the box, but what if the real creative breakthrough happens inside the box? Creativity is not just about breaking the rules, it's also about finding innovative solutions within the rules. Take the example of Lego, the toy company. They could have created endless random shapes, but instead, they chose a fixed number of bricks and colors, and that led to one of the most successful toys in history. The box, in this case, is what made them think creatively. When you define the problem and set parameters, you give yourself a framework for deep thinking. That's why some of the best works of literature come from authors who stick to strict writing formats like haikus or sonnets. If you're enjoying this so far, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more creative tips and insights. Chapter 4. Constraints. The ultimate creative playground. Imagine a playground with endless possibilities but no structure. Where would you start? Now, picture a playground with a few swings, a slide, and a sandbox. Suddenly, the limitations spark your imagination. Constraints create boundaries that help you focus on what's really important. When you limit your tools, you force yourself to use what you have in new and clever ways. This concept is explored in The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, who emphasizes the importance of daily writing exercises within specific constraints. She suggests setting a timer for just 10 minutes each day to write. By limiting time, you encourage more creativity in a short burst. Similarly, filmmakers often work with strict budgets, yet some of the most creative and memorable movies come from directors who had to work with constraints. Chapter 5. The Hidden Genius of Failing Within Boundaries. Failure often feels like the enemy of creativity, but what if it's actually your best ally? When you set limitations, the risk of failure becomes more apparent. However, this can be motivating. In his book Creative Confidence, Tom Kelly talks about how failure within a limited scope encourages experimentation. For instance, in the world of product design, failing within a defined range of options often results in better solutions. A great example is the development of Post-it notes. 3M scientists originally failed to create a super strong adhesive, but within the confines of that failure, they discovered a low-tack version that could be used to make sticky notes, a product now used worldwide. The limitation of failure made them rethink their original goal and, in turn, led to one of the most innovative products ever made. Chapter 6. The Magic of Restriction. Finding your creative flow. Creative flow happens when you're in a zone, fully immersed in your work. Many people think flow happens when there are no distractions or limits, but research shows otherwise. In fact, limits can create the perfect conditions for entering flow. In flow, the psychology of optimal experience, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi found that creativity flourishes when we are working within clear boundaries and objectives. Think of a sculptor working with a block of marble. The limitation of the material pushes the sculptor to imagine new forms, not just aimlessly chip away at the stone. By setting boundaries, you allow your brain to focus on the process, which leads to a deeper level of creativity. This is why writers often use outlines or set word count goals to create a sense of direction and flow in their writing. Thanks for watching. If you want more tips on how to unlock your creative potential, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and share it with anyone who needs a creativity boost. In the end, limitations don't restrict your creativity, they fuel it. By embracing constraints, whether it's fewer resources, time limits, or strict rules, you sharpen your focus and challenge your brain to think in new ways. Creativity thrives within structure, not in chaos. So next time you feel like you're stuck, try setting a limit on your options. You might just be surprised at what your imagination can achieve when you're working within a defined space.